Hey, this is Brian. Christmas is almost here, and I'm getting nervous. I still have a lot of jewelry to clear out, so we're now up to 80% off. It's gotta go.
At AB Lauer, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Get today's headlines delivered to your inbox every morning. Subscribe now at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Today, partly sunny with a high near 37. Cloudy tonight with a low around 23. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high near 33. Chance of snow tomorrow night with a low around 29. Thursday, windy with rain and snow during the day, turning to snow in the afternoon. High near 36, but temperatures plummet to -1 overnight. Friday, continued windy and cold with light snow and a high temperature of only 5 degrees. And Christmas Eve will be partly sunny, breezy and cold with a high near 8. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
You could dig a hole in the ground and bury your cash, but that's no way to see your savings grow. Use an INBCD, and you'll earn a 3.14% annual percentage yield just for keeping your money with us for 13 months. The minimum deposit and balance for this certificate of deposit special is $10,000. For more details, visit INB.com. Apply at any INB branch or on our website. INB, member FDIC.
Shop the largest selection of Amish and American-made furniture all in one location at Hendricks Home Furnishings. From living room upholstery and accent tables to bedroom, dining room, and home office furniture. Select your sizes, wood finishes, colors, leathers, and fabrics of your choice. At Hendricks, the options are endless for style and comfort that will last a lifetime. Come shop Amish and American-made furniture on sale now. Hendricks Home Furnishings in Verdon and online at hendricks.tv, where you can always talk to the owners.
If and you can click, you can eat like a king and or queen. Go to headwestsubs.com and we'll have that miracle sandwich waiting for you.
I don't want the same old thing. I got a craving for a Head West brownie today. Yeah!
Giving blood while giving back to fight hunger. Right now, when you donate blood at the Impact Life Donor Center, we'll make a $10 donation to Feed America on your behalf. Feed America partners with local food banks. Every $10 donated helps provide 100 meals for people facing hunger. See? Giving blood while giving back to fight hunger. Even if you try to give blood and find out you can't, we're still making a donation to Feed America on your behalf. So don't delay. Make your appointment today. Giving blood is not a big deal, and you're done before you know it. Visit the Impact Life Donor Center today at Wabash and Chatham Road near Goodwill in Springfield or on South Main Street in Decatur. Please give what's in your heart because we are changing the world together. Visit bloodcenter.org.
If you've already donated to a food bank, just let them know. They've got a voucher for a $10 gift card for you instead. Visit bloodcenter.org.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
A hearing today on gun bans. Good morning. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. It's 7:11, and you can chime in live and local, or if you're listening around the state or around the country, 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. So we've been tracking what happens with Illinois House Bill 5855. It's a measure from State Representative Bob Morgan that would ban the future sale of around 100 different semi-automatic rifles, shotguns, and pistols. It would also limit the future sale and outlaw the possession of magazines that hold more than 10 rounds. So we've had two different hearings on that. The first hearing at the Illinois State House heard from victims of gun violence and advocates saying that we need a ban on these certain types of weapons. But you also had a second hearing where you heard more about statistics and whatnot, why they support a ban on these weapons. But also at the second hearing, you heard from some opponents to this particular proposal, and some pretty strong points of criticism against it. Everything ranging from it's just purely unconstitutional to it's going to enhance penalties on black and brown communities that are already disproportionately policed, advocates say. So interesting to hear this, and we'll hear more, I imagine, especially with Illinois State Police set to testify. at the committee today. But what about other law enforcement? Where do they stand on this? We'll get to some of that coming up. But, of course, your phone calls always welcome at 217-629-7970. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're up.
This is the way for the liberal Democrats to get more power over the American people. You disarm them, they'll be able to get away with whatever they want. It isn't about hunting. It isn't about anything else, but it's against the right to bear arms is about keeping our government in line.
Yeah, the clause in the Second Amendment is for the security of a free state. It does not say a free state from deer, a state free of vermin, a state free of clay pigeons. No, it's for the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
The Founding Fathers all said it. I mean, this is what we're putting this on the Constitution, to keep people like us from getting grabbing too much power and lording over the American people like they did in Europe. With the royalty and the elites.
Yeah, and our founding fathers, some of the documentation you can see from the historical writings seem to indicate that they did not like the idea of centralized standing armies, which is what they fought against with the Revolution in 1776, declaring independence. But the Second Amendment was added to the U.S. Constitution as a way to, bolster the rights that individuals have in this country. But appreciate the call, and you can always call in live and local at 217-629-7970. So we've got another hearing today in the Illinois House, and we'll be monitoring that and bringing you highlights from that hearing today at 10 o'clock. You can watch along if you want at ilga.gov. Just click on the House audio video section, and you'll be able to watch that. Now, we've also been tracking some of the witness slips from these hearings, and it's fascinating to see just how these witness slips are starting to stack up. And in particular, you've got witness slips for this hearing, similar to what we've seen in other hearings. And the total number of witness slips in opposition are more than double the total number of witness slips for those who support the proposed gun ban. But what about law enforcement? Where do they stand on this? Because, listen, I mean, law enforcement, they're going to have to enforce this law if it does get put into effect. And the law says that, violations could range from a Class A misdemeanor to a Class 2 felony. That includes people who have firearms that are grandfathered in who don't actually register those with state police within 300 days and pay a $25 fee. But also, this measure, it exempts law enforcement, jailers, members of armed services, security officers. They're exempt except for while they're in their official duties or coming back and from work. And that's got some raising questions as to this particular measure and if that goes far enough for law enforcement. So let's take a look at what the Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police have to say about this, because they did recently just post that they oppose House Bill 585, the Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police. They say that the association opposes House Bill 5855, known as the Protect Illinois Communities Act. Gun violence affects our communities as well as our Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police members and their officers. While the association supports measures that will be effective in reducing gun violence, we have many concerns surrounding the bill. The Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police is specifically concerned about the areas that may negatively impact the ability for law enforcement to keep their communities safe, including restrictions on active peace officers and the lack of exemptions for retired law enforcement officers, and the negative impact it could potentially have on law enforcement operations and public safety. So, some of the other things that I highlighted there about the exemptions, saying that, law enforcement, military, jailers, security officers, they would be exempt while officially performing their duties or going from work to home. But it doesn't explicitly say that they are allowed to have these firearms in their home. So that's just one particular concern that may come up. But that's the Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police. If they refine that language in the proposal to say that law enforcement can have guns at home, will the association lift their opposition? That's an interesting question. But it really begs the question of, what about individual citizens and their ability to protect themselves? Now, the supporters of the bill, they claim that they don't want to take all guns away from people. They just want to prohibit individuals from having what they call assault weapons, though a lot of gun owners recognize those as just semi-automatic weapons, not an assault weapon. But interesting to see some of the other sentiments that are out there. And somebody shared with me a gun owner's message to the law enforcement community. And this was written by somebody anonymously, and it deals with various issues of gun control. So this was, again, a publication back in 2019, December of 2019. It says, law-abiding American gun owners stand with law enforcement, and American law enforcement must stand with us. The publication goes on saying, elitist politicians across the country are advancing draconian national, state, and local gun control schemes that will do nothing to deter criminals' activity and will only undermine honest Americans' natural right and responsibility to protect their own safety and security. Participating in Second Amendment marches and rallies, calling and emailing legislators, writing letters to the editor, and engaging in social media discussions are all worthy pursuits, but according to some studies, only 30 to 40% of households have firearms. Gun owners are a minority in the modern America, and we need a new strategy to defeat bad policy and defend the Second Amendment civil liberties. Responsible gun owners are also law enforcement's strongest support, and we, in turn, need and deserve law enforcement's public support of our interests. We need law enforcement to stand with us. So you can kind of see the sentiment there of ensuring that you've got support for upholding civil rights in the Second Amendment space. And with the Illinois State Police being a agency that's directed by somebody who is appointed by Governor J.B. Pritzker, you can imagine that they're going to come out today in the hearing that happens at 10 o'clock, which, again, we'll monitor and bring you the latest for tomorrow. But the Illinois State Police are going to have to manage a database of gun registration. And I'm sure that they're also going to get a whole bunch of questions about why Illinois State Police didn't block the suspected Highland Park shooter from getting a firearm, and why law-abiding gun owners should be punished for that action of what some have called psychopaths. 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Hey, good morning, Greg. Hey, they say you're going to have to register within 300 days your semi-automatic weapon with the state police. Well, me personally, I would be hesitant to do that, and the reason is because, okay, now they have a complete record, your address, what you have. Now we're going to pass a new gun bill that you're going to have to turn them weapons in, and they know exactly who has them and who doesn't. So, as far as me, I'll say it out loud on the air. I'm not registering anything with the state police, and I've never been convicted of a crime. I'm not a felon. I'm not, but people's going to be hesitant to do that because what's next? They're going to come and take them. I don't know.
Well, and the issue also of, I don't want you to out yourself necessarily, but how many magazines that hold more than 10 rounds do you have, right? Because that's...
Right. What are you going to register a 30-round mag?
And that's not in the law. But that's not spelled out in the law. I don't see anything grandfathering people in who have these magazines that hold more than 10 rounds, which is pretty standard for a lot of semi-automatic pistols that hold 14 rounds. But some people also have, 2, 3, 4, if not more, 15-round magazines for their AR-15 or even 30-round magazines for their AR-15. So what happens with all of those and potentially tens of millions of those items out there in the hands of potentially 2 million Illinoisans? Are they all of a sudden going to be turned into felons overnight? This is a question that we'll likely hear a lot more about whenever they get back to debating this issue. I appreciate the calls. Got to take a break. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY. Find me on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Spread the word. It is WMAY. All right, got more to get to, including a look at the forecast where you've got snowstorm a-coming and it's not looking pretty. You've got a high of mild temperatures today, and it's going to be decent with partly sunny skies, the high of 36. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, 34 the high, but then Wednesday night, that's when some snow is going to come in, with a low down to 29. Thursday, the high of 33, but that's only by 8 a.m., and then it's going to drop down to 13 degrees. Thursday into Thursday night with 2 to 4 inches of snow possible, and wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour, if not more. By Friday, more snow, and then Friday nights, blowing snow, -2 the low. Saturday, the high of only 8, blowing snow, and Christmas Day, the high of 14 with mostly sunny skies. 32 degrees now at 723 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
The holidays can be such a wonderful time of warmth and celebration.
But for some, it can be a very stressful time of year.
We invite you to share in the spirit of the holidays and donate non-perishable food, personal hygiene items, and baby diapers.
You can drop your donations off in the 2 Men in a Truck boxes located at S&K Buick GMC between now and the end of December.
They will then be locally distributed by Kumler Outreach Ministries.
For a complete list of items or to donate, visit WMAY.com.
Anxiety. There's plenty of it to go around for just about everyone these days, but the question is, how are you dealing with it? Anxiety can make things difficult. If you find yourself reaching for drugs or alcohol as the solution, chances are your anxiety has gotten out of control. It's time to pick up the phone and call Gateway Foundation. You'll talk with someone who holds the strictest confidentiality so that you can open up and learn about treatment options. Our team of professional counselors, therapists, psychiatrists, and physicians have a long history of helping people like you get back on track. During the healing process, you'll find that there is nothing to be ashamed of. Calling Gateway Foundation is that important first step towards getting away from the self-medication of alcohol and other substances and on the road towards safe, rewarding, and sustainable recovery. Call Gateway Foundation at 877-505-HOPE for a free, private, confidential screening. Gateway Foundation, addiction medicine saving lives.
What's the best thing to do with your money during uncertain times? Financial experts agree products like certificates of deposit and money market accounts can be a safe haven from a bumpy economy. At Warren Boynton State Bank, we've been helping people find ways for their money to make money for 145 years. Certificates of deposit, or CDs, give you a guaranteed return on your money. Money market accounts are a way to let your money earn higher interest with the flexibility of a checking account. These are just two options we have at Warren Boynton, each designed to give your money security, and they just might help you sleep better at night. At Warren Boynton, you can say we've seen a few things over the years. A lot has happened since we opened our doors in 1877, but no matter what was going on in the rest of the world, we've stood by folks in Central Illinois. A little extra confidence during challenging economic times. Warren Boynton State Bank, WBSB.net, member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
John, the price of groceries is enough to send somebody into a panic mode these days.
Yeah, especially when the refrigerator goes kaput.
Even more so. We got a call from a customer who had that problem with a freezer load of those expensive groceries.
And that'll keep you awake at night just thinking about it.
Right. So, because Dick Van Dyke stocks the 100 most used parts, we were able to send a factory-trained tech out to her place to fix the problem before she lost any of that food.
And he wasn't some subcontractor either.
Trained right here locally by the team of Dick Van Dyke.
You know, one way to fight inflation?
Yep.
Keep from having to buy expensive stuff twice.
Yes, you got that right.
This is Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store, which means you have the comfort of knowing that if anything goes wrong, we'll make it right. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store. Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Here's what we believe at Rex Battery. You should be able to find the right battery when you need it. Our company started when my dad needed a battery for his car, and he built it himself. Today, more than 50 years later, we are still making sure you can find the right battery you need. And that includes the common batteries people use every day to the hard-to-find batteries used in big farm equipment. While online outlets are struggling with supply chain issues, we have shelves full of batteries. The best part is we're right here in town and ready to help today. hearing aids, power tools, and the car in your garage. If it takes a battery, you can find the battery at Rex Battery, Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Today, bring in an unwrapped toy for Toys for Tots to BLH, and you can recycle a TV free. Grab that old TV that's been staring at you from the corner of your basement and bring it to BLH in Springfield along with a toy valued at $10 or more. If you have 2 TVs, bring in 2 unwrapped toys. You'll leave feeling great you finally got rid of that old TV, and you'll put a smile on a kid's face for Christmas. BLH Computers on Stevenson Drive. BLHcomputers.com.
The WMAY Daily Poll is sponsored by Adams Pest Control for commercial, residential, real estate inspections, and termite control. Cast your vote with the WMAY mobile app or at WMAY.com/poll.
And today's poll question, should the Justice Department pursue criminal charges against Donald Trump as recommended by the January 6th committee? Yes or no? And as of so far this morning, 52% of you say yes. Go vote at WMAY.com/poll or on the WMAY mobile app. It's brought to you by Adams Pest Control.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 92.7 WMAY.
Show yesterday, another Last Night on Twitter episode here with Springfield's Morning News. Yesterday we talked about the poll that Elon Musk had for people to sound off on whether or not he should step down as Twitter's CEO. It had 17 million votes. And about 57% or so said that, yes, Musk should step down as the CEO of Twitter. He said he'll abide by it, but now it looks like he might be reversing that. Kim.com, if you're not familiar with him, I think he was the mega upload guy, faced lawsuits, and lives out of the country or something. But he said, hey, Elon Musk, it's unwise to run a poll like this when you are now deep state enemy number 1. They have the biggest bot army on Twitter. They have 100,000 analysts with 30 to 40 accounts all voting against you. Let's clean up that and then run the poll again. The majority has faith in you. He goes on to say, I hope that Elon did this poll as a honeypot to catch the deep state bots. The data sets for the poll will contain most of them. Some good data mining, and he could kill them all and be done. And then Elon Musk replying to that saying, interesting. So does that indicate that Elon Musk could possibly, do another poll, but only allow blue check individuals who are subscribed to be able to take part in that poll? A headline says Musk narrows voting on Twitter policies to blue members after a poll. So we'll see what happens with that. But you've also got, the FBI files, the Twitter files, I should say, continuing to come out. We'll get to some of that here in a moment. But good morning. You're on WMAY.
Good morning. Are you on a different topic? I was streaming on my phone and I had to disconnect from that to call.
I apologize. Yeah, we bounce around from topic to topic each segment, so I take it you were wanting to talk about the firearms discussion?
I'll talk about whatever you want. You want to talk about Elon Musk?
Give it to me in 10 seconds. I'm up on a break.
Elon Musk is trying to root out the bots and the elements within the Twitter space that's not legitimate, and that's been a problem, and he's doing some good things. Other than that, my right to bear arms comes from God, not the government, and anything that's repugnant to the Constitution is not a law at all.
And when lawmakers do take that oath of office, they do swear to uphold the Constitution. Appreciate the call. I do want to go through some of the latest Twitter files, though. Here's a headline. FBI issues national public safety alert on widespread child extortion schemes. A lot of people criticizing that the FBI hasn't done enough to keep children safe, even on Twitter, though they apparently, according to the Twitter files, were pretty busy on Twitter trying to suppress certain individuals' speech, and more so seeming to be an arm of the Democrat National Party, but also the deep state that so many people see as evident, but now others rush off as conspiracy theories, which is a form of gaslighting, by the way. Just so you're clear, if you call somebody a conspiracy theorist, you're gaslighting them because we see too often that a lot of these so-called conspiracy theories, just give it some time, and sometimes they end up coming out to be true. But let's get to Michael Schellenberger. He's one of the journalists that Elon Musk has given the Twitter files to, and he put out part 7 yesterday about the FBI and the Hunter Biden laptop. And he goes through some of those findings and it really highlights how there were dozens of FBI agents, former FBI agents, that were working together to suppress speech. And you can go through and look at Michael Schellenberger's entire thread here and all the documentation and how this could be pouring into other social media like Facebook. And he says that, moving on here, after FBI asked about a Washington Post story on alleged foreign influence in a pro-Trump tweet, Twitter's Roth says, this article makes a lot of insinuations, but we saw no evidence. So even Twitter pushing back on some of the FBI's pressure. But you go through and you see all of this documentation of the FBI pressuring Twitter to censor speech. And that's a violation of the First Amendment. A lot of people indicate, but even all the way down, you get to just dozens and dozens and dozens of tweets where Michael Schellenberger unpacks it, shows the FBI monitoring the release of the Hunter Biden laptop story and telling the Twitter officials to be mindful of it. Elon Musk just saying extremely problematic. So last night on Twitter, it was another roller coaster ride, and I imagine that we'll again have to do another last night on Twitter segment. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and you can check out the YouTube channel for segments of this show and so much more. So go check it out. Just search Bishop on Air. The more subscribers I get, the more prominent I can show up in search results. So be mindful of that as well. Plenty more coming up here with Springfield's Morning News. All right, so stay tuned. We will get to more. All right, now 7:34, and let's get a headline check.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the 3 big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. A small but expanding group of tinkerers are converting vintage cars into electric vehicles, in part due to recent advances in battery technology. Despite derision from some purists, many car enthusiasts are making electric powertrain conversions more mainstream. But there are hurdles. Conversions can cost more than $100,000, and classics often require other modifications to handle the weight of the new batteries and the increased performance of electric motors. Companies are now racing to develop lighter batteries and components that make the process easier. A major winter storm coming to Springfield could have a big impact on holiday travel. The National Weather Service says it expects measurable snow and strong winds from Wednesday night through Friday. Forecasters say there's a good chance of having a white Christmas this year, something that happens about 30% of the time. Springfield's most recent white Christmas was in 2017. The snow will be followed by bitter cold, with wind chills down to 20 below zero or colder on Christmas Eve. Gas prices continue to fall in Springfield and around the state and are now at their lowest levels of this calendar year. The average price for regular unleaded in Springfield is down to $3.02 a gallon, more than 70 cents a gallon lower than it was just a month ago. It's the lowest price in well over a year, as gas stood at around $3.30 to $3.40 a gallon last December and January. Prices began to take off after the Russian invasion of Ukraine, peaking at a record high of $5.27 a gallon locally back in June. Demolition work is set to begin on some of the remaining structures at the former Pillsbury Mills site. The site's nonprofit owner, Moving Pillsbury Forward, says 2 dilapidated warehouses will be the first structures to come down because they have partially collapsed and pose a safety hazard to anyone on the site. The group says community volunteers have already cleared the site of vegetation and trash, removing more than 700 cubic yards of garbage and debris over the past 9 months. A news conference will be held later this week with more details on the demolition effort. The Faith Coalition for the Common Good in Springfield and other groups are calling on Illinois prosecutors to drop their legal challenges to the law that will end cash bail in the state on January 1st. Nearly 60 states' attorneys, including Dan Wright in Sangamon County, have filed suit contending that the Pretrial Fairness Act is unconstitutional. Judges were already required by law to avoid using bail as a means for keeping people in jail before trial and instead release most defendants under court monitoring even before the Pretrial Fairness Act was passed. Groups say that ending cash bail would create a more equitable justice system in Illinois. A Jacksonville school for students with behavioral disorders, including autism, ADHD, and the effects of trauma, is under scrutiny for its reliance on police to deal with trouble at the school. An investigation by ProPublica and the Chicago Tribune finds the Garrison School in Jacksonville calls police to respond to disturbances there on an average of once every other day, and more than 100 students were arrested over the past 5 years. The investigation found that the arrest rate at Garrison is far higher than any other similar school in the state. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News sponsored by 7th Street Cidery, Central Illinois' first cidery, now open next door to Obed and Isaac's in downtown Springfield.
Little Jack Horner sat in the corner, drinking his Christmas cider. It's the perfect cup of cheer for this time of year, and his smile kept getting wider. Come check out the new 7th Street Cidery, the first cidery in Central Illinois. You'll love their warm, rustic atmosphere and great selection of locally sourced ciders, meads, and perries. 7th Street Cidery, now open at 503 South 7th Street, next to Obed and Isaac's in the heart of downtown Springfield.
Love to sink your teeth into juicy butts? Wiggle on over to Lou Willie's Smokehouse with the finest barbecue smoked daily. What's your pleasure? Brisket, pork, chicken. Lou Willie's got it all. Plus all your favorite classic sides like homemade mac and cheese, Grandma Pauline's coleslaw, and cornbread. Also check out Lou Willie's rewards program and earn points like a beast every time you feast. Follow your nose to the smoke at the corner of MacArthur and South Grand. Wiggle Central. Open Wednesday through Sunday, 11 to 7 for dine-in, takeout, or delivery. Online at LouWilliesBBQ.com.
There are 3 words I always hear when someone from our staff is on the phone. We got it. Hi, it's Laurie from Rex Battery, and whenever somebody calls us and asks if we have a certain type of battery, the answer is always, we got it. Even in those very rare instances we don't, we know how to get it. And if we don't know how to get it, we'll build it. That's how committed we are to making sure you have the power you need. From model cars to real cars, from toys to tractors, dog collars to doorbells, riding mowers to remote keys. If it takes a battery, we have it at Rex Battery. Over 75,000 batteries in stock right now. So if you're wondering if we've got a battery, yep, we've got it. They're fresh, fully charged, and ready to go, keeping Central Illinois fully powered for over 60 years. Rex Battery, Clear Lake, west of Dirksen.
X with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Hi, it's Ed Lex with Edward Jones. Listen to the Business Spotlight with Edward Jones this afternoon at 5:40 on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Everywhere with the WMAY app. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Today, partly sunny with a high near 37. Cloudy tonight with a low around 23. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high near 33. Chance of snow tomorrow night with a low around 29. Thursday, windy with rain and snow during the day, turning to snow in the afternoon. High near 36, but temperatures plummet to -1 overnight. Friday, continued windy and cold with light snow and a high temperature of only 5 degrees. And Christmas Eve will be partly sunny, breezy, and cold with a high near 8. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
This is the time of year to be thinking about furnace maintenance as the weather is going to get steadily cooler. But if your furnace is 12 to 15 years old or older, it may be time to think about furnace replacement. The typical lifespan for a good furnace is about 12 to 15 years. And if it's been working hard for that time or more, it really is time to think about replacing it. There's a lot of benefits to it. You will see dramatically improved energy efficiency, lower utility bills, and a home that's a lot more comfortable. So reach out to the furnace installation experts at MB Heating and Cooling today. Now, if your furnace just needs maintenance, MB is also the place to go. You can sign up for a service agreement with MB Heating and Cooling for 2 performance tune-ups per year, 24-hour priority service and energy-saving coil cleaning, and a discount on replacement parts and labor. Whether you have a need for maintenance or for replacement, call MB Heating and Cooling. Call 217-544-HEAT, 544-4328, or visit mb-heating.com.
BLH Computers, they have locations in Springfield, Taylorville, and Jacksonville, and BLH Computers is the place to go for electronics this holiday, and you are running out of time because at BLH Computers, you will get a holiday guarantee, which means exclusive gifts for you, like your next computer purchase is exclusively guaranteed against any labor charges, and let's just say they need to fix something for you, and they have that part in stock, replacement is free. Some restrictions do apply, so you can check out blhcomputers.com to learn more, but BLH Computers is the place place for those electronics this holiday, and they are also the place to take those old electronics because they are E-Steward certified. That is the highest certification in the industry, ensures that those electronics stay out of our landfills, also protects that sensitive data on those electronics, stay out of the hands of people that do like to do bad things with that. So clean out those closets, clean out those basements, clean out those garages. You can see the full list of items that you can recycle, see the stuff that you can't recycle at blhcomputers.com. BLH Computers in Springfield, Taylorville, Jacksonville, on Facebook and online, blhcomputers.com.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
92.7 WMAY.
Springfield's news and talk.
'Tis the season for giving, and when Megan and I went out to do some Christmas shopping for our friends and family, we also had to buy some of our friends and family's pets, their loved ones, some gifts. And that can be a fun experience, but sometimes, you got to think of it as well. There are some pets that are less fortunate, and there's a program going on right now to help rectify that here locally, and to join together in those efforts with others is Christina Yock from Farmers Insurance, also Jim Weddigan from CBD Botanicals, and they both join us in studio. Christina, you even brought a special guest with you. Tell us who's sitting right next to you.
I sure did. This is Coraline, the agency pup, and of course she is one of the rescues from some of the organizations that we're going to be supporting this year. So we're doing a second annual Little Red Wagon donation stations throughout the local community. Of course, CBD Botanicals is going to be one of the locations, and we are collecting presents for shelter pets this year again.
I got to tell you, Coraline is just a fantastic model sitting there. That is a model pup, just hanging out. Do you think Coraline knows she's on the radio?
What do you think, huh? Probably not.
I think she's watching herself right now through the monitor.
Yeah.
She's very stoic. She really is.
It's a beautiful dog.
Oh, yeah.
And people, of course, this is radio, so if you're listening only on the radio, you're not seeing this. But if you follow us on Facebook or YouTube, or if you want to see it later, it'll be posted both of those places, so you can see this. But Christina, talk about Little Red Wagon, where this came from, and why it's so important to focus on those shelter pets who don't have that level of love and affection that typical pets might have.
Yeah, absolutely. So my background is vet medicine for about 20 years in addition to insurance, and of course pets are near and dear to me. All my animals are all rescues, including Miss Coraline here, and she actually came from Friends of Sangamon County Animal Control. So they are going to be one of our local shelters that we're going to be collecting presents for shelter pets this year, along with Macoupin County Animal Control, as well as Animal Protective League of Springfield. So some of the things that they're really, really in need of are going to be cat litter, any Purina brand foods, cleaning products, things that you don't necessarily think of as far as presents for pets, but those are some of the things that are going to be really beneficial for these shelters. And we're collecting through January 15th, 2023. That way we can help all the shelter pets start their new year right. So if you guys are getting Christmas presents for your little furry family members this year, and you guys want to maybe recycle some of their old toys or old clothing or old bedding, feel free, bring them by. Again, CBD Botanicals in Springfield will be a location where you can find our Little Red Wagon donation station there. Bring your presents by there. We also have the Pet Doctor in Rochester, next to the Rochester Police Station, as well as Wagner Chiropractic and Wellness Center, Dr. Sammy over in Chatham, Springfield area. And of course, you can always stop by the Verdon Farmers Insurance over at 1130 North Springfield Street in Verdon and drop off your items there too.
I'm enamored with Caroline right now.
Coraline
right now.
We get it all the time.
She's just gorgeous, just hanging out. Just I'm like, what a wonderful dog.
Oh yeah.
And a shelter pet.
Yeah, exactly. These are the animals that are at the shelters that are looking for homes. I mean, she was literally on the euthanasia list at 4 months old because her whole right side was broken, and of course fostered her at first, and I became a foster failure, and I'm thankful for Sangamon County for allowing me to adopt her afterwards.
And again, we're talking with Christina Yock, and sitting next to her, Coraline, Farmers Insurance, working for Little Red Wagon, several different areas throughout the city and the area, the listening area, that you can take pets, some shelter pets, various gifts, and we'll go over some of those things as well again. But Jim, CBD Botanicals is one of those locations, and you got a soft spot for animals, because I actually witnessed you in the middle of broad daylight, stop your vehicle in the middle of the road to help shoo some geese across the street in the middle of the west side. And I was sitting there with my wife. I'm like, I think I know that guy. And sure enough, it was you. So talk about why this is important to you.
Well, animals have a voice, but they don't have our ears all the time. And they need to be listened to, and they need to be heard. And as you can tell by Coraline here, Coraline's just this stoic, amazing animal who's got this personality that these eyes just pierce through you. She literally talks some days and tells you what she's thinking. And she could be in the shop, and initially she looks very intimidating because just of her stature and her overall, the type of dog that she is, but she couldn't be more sweet. The difficulty here is that she doesn't speak English. She speaks dog, and we've got to be able to listen to that. Yeah. So I have a soft spot because these are the creatures that don't get heard very often. And as Christina said earlier, she was on the foster failure. Is that right? She wasn't.
I was the foster failure.
She wasn't doing well in the other homes because they weren't listening to her. So when people listen and really see how great these animals are. Coraline is an amazing, amazing dog. And if we don't listen, we're going to see a lot of these great souls go away. And I've truly fallen in love with Coraline here. So I offered up my location as one of the collection spots. And I can't tell you how receptive people have been to that. I set the wagon up right by the register during the busy season so that people get reminded. And it's little things. It's blankets. It's those little $5 throws that you can go to any dollar store and grab. It's a metal bowl for food or water. And I insist upon the metal ones because the plastic ones can become toys and the dogs can chew them up and then swallow the little plastic pieces. We don't want that. So the durable metal bowls, it could be cat litter because they go to the bathroom too. Right. It could be a treat, but the reality is toys disappear in 40 seconds. Food gets devoured, and that's needed. Yeah. However, it's the things that help sustain life that they really, really need, and I want to be a part of that. If anything, silently to help people along. Or help these animals along.
So again, Little Red Wagon with locations all throughout the area, helping generate donations for shelter pets, and Christina Yock with Farmers Insurance leading that charge. Christina, again, go through some of the things that people can bring to and where they can take those to.
Yeah, absolutely. So any gently used items, blankets, toys, leashes, harnesses, shredded newspapers, that's definitely something that people don't really think about all the time. But for those kitties that are getting those declaws at the shelters or spay and neuters, then definitely you want to make sure that they have something that they can use. Some of the new items, again, dog food Purina is the #1 brand that they are asking for. It just sits well in their digestive tracts in the shelters in that stressful environment. Laundry detergents, prepaid gift cards, any of those things. And one of the local partnering locations, of course, CBD Botanicals in Springfield. You have the Pet Doctor in Rochester, Wagner Chiropractic Care, Springfield Chatham location, and as well over at the Farmers Insurance Agency in Verdon. Come stop by, visit me in Coraline, 1130 North Springfield Street in Verdon. And if you want more information, go to ChristinaYockAgency.com, click on our Contact Us tab, and click on our community events section.
So make that happen and get some of those presents and other life-sustaining things for shelter pets as part of the Little Red Wagon. Christina Yock, Farmers Insurance, Jim Weddigan, CBD Botanicals, and we can't forget Coraline line. Thank you guys so much for taking time with us today with WMAY.
Thank you.
All right, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
It is now 7:51, and let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast, where you've got snowstorm coming. And that snowstorm is going to cause some problems for travel, and that includes a lot of snow, a lot of blowing snow, and it's just not going to be pretty, especially with plummeting temperatures. But it's going to take a couple of days to get there. Partly sunny today, the high of 36, the low of 24, 34 the high Wednesday, and then overnight Wednesday night we'll see some snow, and then the temperature dropping quite a bit Thursday into the teens with 2 to 4 inches of snow possible. Thursday night, the low of -1 with 45 mile-an-hour winds. It's going to be windy as well, with winds up to 48 miles an hour. Friday, the high of only 2, and then Saturday, got that blowing snow, the high of only 8, and that snow looks like it's going to stick around for Christmas Day with a high of 14, mostly sunny skies. Right now, it's about 32 degrees at 7:52 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
There are many reasons to buy a Verlo mattress. We've narrowed it down to the 8 great reasons to choose Verlo. Reason number 8, we do all sizes. Most mattress retailers sell twin, full, queen, and king. It's rare to find a place that will not only sell standard size, but also custom sizes. So where do you go if you need a short queen for your RV, a 3/4 for your antique bed, a queen or king waterbed replacement, or to find a replacement for that weird mattress tucked up in the attic that's been passed down for years? You go to Verlo. For a list of all 8 great reasons and our current sale, Google us or like us on Facebook. This is Caleb Kitzman with Verlo Mattress. It's that time of the year again. Time for cooler weather, Christmas, and the start of the new year. It's also time for Verlo's model clearance sale. Don't have a Verlo mattress? Now's the time to get yourself one. Learn what our loyal customers already know. Our mattresses are the best in town. They're made in our local factory and backed with the best warranties in the industry. Come in this month and save big. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
If you're in need of care, that's all you should be concerned about, not the hassles of out-of-pocket cost or whether your doctor is in network. We've heard you. Springfield Clinic Advantage, an employer health plan designed locally with a real understanding of the healthcare needs of the patients in our community. A plan that guarantees you'll never be out of network with your Springfield Clinic doctors again. Your doctors, your health plan, your advantage.
As to how helpful the salespeople were, too. Supply chain problems are still a thing, but this customer got the help they needed, and they wrote in to thank us.
You know, a little less whimpering in today's world can't be a bad thing.
This is Dennis Reekin, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Supply chain issues are minimized when you have multiple locations and people who know how to help you with your next purchase. All we do is appliances, and we do them better than anyone else. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store. Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
You can jumpstart your car with a device you can hold in your hand. I'm Laurie from Rex Battery, and if you find yourself with a dead battery, the NOCO Genius Boost is all you need. You don't have to wait for a friend to show up, call a tow truck, or hope a stranger has jumper cables. If you have the NOCO Genius Boost, you have the charge you need to get your car going again. One charge can get you as many as 20 jumps. Rex Battery always carries the latest technology, and these small devices pack big power, enough oomph to start your cars, trucks, and even boats. They even have USB ports so you can get your phone powered up if you're stranded. The NOCO Genius Boost. Pick up one today at Rex Battery, Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
What's the best thing to do with your money during uncertain times? Financial experts agree products like certificates of deposit and money market accounts can be a safe haven from a bumpy economy. At Warren Boynton State Bank, we've been helping people find ways for their money to make money for 145 years. certificates of deposit, or CDs, give you a guaranteed return on your money. Money market accounts are a way to let your money earn higher interest with the flexibility of a checking account. These are just two options we have at Warren Boynton, each designed to give your money security, and they just might help you sleep better at night. At Warren Boynton, you can say we've seen a few things over the years. A lot has happened since we opened our doors in 1877, but no matter what was going on in the rest of the world, we've stood by folks in Central Illinois. A little extra confidence during challenging economic times. Warren Boynton State Bank, WBSB.net, member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
'Tis the season of giving, and there's no better gift than the gift of security. From now until January 1st, new customers that purchase a basic security system with monitoring or switch an existing competitor system to Barcom can qualify for a free doorbell camera. So now you can keep an eye on those pesky porch bandits. To see if you qualify for the free doorbell camera, contact the local Barcom security office or go to barcomsecurity.com and have a secure day.
Listen and watch the interviews with today's newsmakers on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe now. Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
Well, there's just never enough time when it comes to all the headlines we got to tackle. Good morning, Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk. Here are some headlines. Biden to sign defense funding bill ending military's COVID-19 vaccine mandate. That's according to the White House. The bill, National Defense Authorization Act, around $858 million for spending on defense. But it also lifts the COVID-19 vaccine mandate that was imposed on active duty service members. And I think there were around 8,000 or so service members that were not granted religious exemption and ultimately were let go. Don't quote me on that, but still a lot of people impacted by that. So apparently the White House is going to sign that, which does lift the COVID-19 vaccine mandate. Meanwhile, a judge approves a $10 million settlement with healthcare workers in Illinois. The judge approving that multi-million-dollar settlement for workers at an Illinois healthcare system, and these workers refused the COVID-19 vaccine, about 500 of them, who were terminated or sought exemptions but got those denied, getting a $10.3 million settlement. And this, again, coming from a U.S. district judge overseeing that lawsuit here in Illinois. Also, another headline that is rather alarming, and you can see why people are somewhat apprehensive of doing the COVID-19 vaccines. And this story headline is Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine linked to blood clotting, according to the FDA. The Epoch Times reports FDA researchers crunching data from a database of elderly persons in the United States found that pulmonary embolism, blood clotting in the lungs, met the initial threshold for a statistical signal and continued meeting the criteria after a more in-depth evaluation. So again, a headline like that, you can see why people are apprehensive about complying with vaccine mandates. It's all the time we got this hour. Much more coming up next hour, including a conversation with Congressman Rodney Davis.
SCI Studios.